I built these cities. I built these cities on newbie gold. Built these cities. I built these cities on newbie gold. Hey everyone, Ailing is back. So I had some problems with my vocal cords. I had a polyp on my vocal cord. I actually have to get it lasered off. So in the old days, I guess they would have to surgically remove it. But I was able to get it lasered off, and I seem to be fine now. So my wife thinks it was from talking too much. I do like to talk. And so here I go again. So I have some things to say about the salvager nerf that happened a couple seasons ago. It was long overdue because the cities were just getting too big. Everybody had way too much gold, especially the whales. They were building cities that were like 130 and nothing was happening because you couldn't attack a 130 city unless you're trading with them, right? So nothing would really happen. So now, after the salvager nerf, the cities are a lot smaller. It's like the good old days. There's a lot more action. There's a lot more attacking going on, right? So what I do at the start of every season is wall noobs, because it's the easiest thing to do, because there's a lot of noobs. They don't know who I am, and they're a lot slower than me. So they'll be sending attacks that take like 60 or 90 seconds to get to me, and I can wall them. My closest city with like 90 million troops would take like 12 seconds. Like 900 million troops would take like 19 seconds. So I can wall them without spending speed ups, right? And if they're sending big attacks, like their whole stack, then I'll use my speed ups to get a head start on gold. Now the problem is when you get too much gold, then you move way up the leaderboard and the whales come after you. And when the whales come after you, there's nothing you can do about it, right? So, I got into the top 3, and then I had 3 different whales come after me, right? So what I do now is I try to stay like outside the top 10, inside the top 20, but outside the top 10. And because when the whales come after me, then the continent just gets ripped apart. I can no longer hold on to the cities that I built, right? And that's my whole plan. So basically my plan is I start the season with full striker. So, and then after a few days, usually after the clan event, because that's when everybody's pushing, usually the Monday after the clan event, I go full recruiter, and I stay full recruiter for the entire season until as close as possible to the last day. Now, I might go striker and switch back a couple times if there are a few big cities that I need to take, or if I'm losing too much territory, I need to take it back. But generally, I try to stay on recruiter as much as possible. Now, when a whale comes, that really messes everything up, because their striker is too high for really any non-whale, and even for other whales to stop, because people with striker of over 600 or 700%, like nobody has the guardian to match that. So even if you respec guardian, you're not going to be able to whale them. Even if you partially whale them, you're going to take more losses than they do, right? So you need like twice as many troops as they have, which is just impossible, right? Because they're whales. They're going to be high level also, right? So what I think they should do is they should buff Guardian. They should make Guardian at least 4%. Ideally, they should make it like 4.5%. But I have the feeling that if they tried to have half of a percent, they would probably introduce like 50 new bugs in the game, because, million victories, that's a little bit beyond them, like dealing with fractions, right? So 4%, guys, at least, right? So I think that would balance things out a lot better, because you shouldn't be able to just attack cities without even scouting, right? The striker's just too powerful in that case, right? So, in the last couple seasons, I actually made top 25, but it was a lot of work. I don't think it was worth it, because for those 5 gems, I played like 5 times as much as I needed to get 4 gems. So I think I'm just going to play more casually, chill out, collect 4 gems until my gear is good enough to get the 5 gems without as much effort, right? So basically what I like to do is go on full recruiter. Now the advantage of full recruiter, the main advantage is you get the maximum amount of troops possible, and it's all about troops. So basically, if you have high KP, you can produce a lot of troops, and but you're going to attract a lot of whales. So with full recruiter, you don't need as much KP. So, you can have 30 or 40% lower KP and generate the same amount of troops, which is great, because then I can sit at a KP level that I can defend. And you're not going to be able to wall everybody, but the people that get through, I can also attack on full recruiter. Now that's the challenging part. of Recruiter is attacking, because if the city is defended with, let's say you have 5 billion troops and they have 900 million troops, you're not going to be able to attack it, right? So you're going to have to, even with a full stack, you're going to take heavy casualties. So you're going to have to wait until they move, right? Or you're going to have to respec. So that's the problem. You got to be really careful with your attacking, and you generally only attack cities that are empty or very lightly defended. Else it's just not worth the casualties, because you want to always be earning at least 30 experience per troop loss. That's very important, because if you're losing a lot of troops on your attack, then you're just defeating the entire purpose of Recruiter. Now, the best thing about Recruiter, I mean, it takes a lot of patience, but because you're not going to be doing the big attacks you're used to doing. You're not going to be able to take those cities that are over 100, right? So, but the patience pays off, because by sitting on Recruiter for the entire season, by the last day, you're going to have way more troops than all the people you were fighting, assuming they had a similar level of KP and a similar amount of gear, because most people don't do that. Most people sit on Striker most of the season, right? So that's when it really pays off. And if you can hold your own, you know, on full Recruiter, then for sure you'll win on the last day when you actually respec to Striker. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like the video, make sure to like it and comment down below. Hopefully I don't get demonetized. I used a karaoke version of that song, because last time I did a Million Lord song, it got instantly demonetized. I don't make money on it anyway, but it's just, I'm just interested to know if it'll get demonetized again. So yeah, make sure to comment and like it, and I'll have more videos coming up.